Alright, says we're on. Yeah. With the timer. No sound. So we'll be able to test this out. Yeah, for Craig, hopefully. But also, well, nobody's viewing now. We lost him. He said it was a letdown. But yeah, pretty much. Yep. So it looks like we'll be able to see if this talking works or hides or doesn't hide. So I'm gonna go fill up my coffee. We got 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I definitely feel a sense of urgency with the timer. You can still hear my voice. So I was talking to nobody. Really? You rewinded to the beginning? Man. Well, then I guess I'll unmute you. Might as well fake unmute me. Because we've been live for the last 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah. So then we did start early.
So do we get to put up our workday our safety report that we've been on time one day consecutively?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Exactly right.
So, good morning, Darcy.
Good morning, Jeff.
Are you ready? What? What'd you say?
We made it.
Made it to what? To the show?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were on a journey.
Always.
Always. always a journey. It's true. I think everything's going. Looks good. We had Craig harassing us before the stream started. And that's why I was streaming by myself early, because I'm trying to mute and give him a timer like he asked for. 'Cause we deliver. Our fans request it. What?
Wait, the music's still playing.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So
I just
then.
realized that.
So then everything we just said we'll not redo, but good morning without music.
Good morning.
That's funny. Gotta tie. Okay, so note to self, we need to put the timer in the scene with the music so that when I kill the timer, then it kills the music at the same time.
That's an excellent idea.
And this will be when we get into the Business Central side of building our social media helper.
Excellent. Yep.
But I don't know if that would really help, because that would have to be like inside of OBS. So I'm not really sure that
Well, it could just be a part of the list of the things that we need to do.
the list. But we have a much more urgent list. We need to get our NFTs out, because everybody's putting out NFTs, and it's the next big thing. Did you know that?
It is. Yep.
So
That's why I'm here.
that's why you're here. You knew that because
Yeah.
you wanted to tune in and learn all about NFTs.
Yes. Yes, that's
Why do
exactly
you?
right.
Why don't you tell everybody?
I don't know yet.
Oh
I haven't
man,
watched the
what do you
video
think it
yet.
is? What do you think? You haven't watched the video? That's so awesome. That's a great plug. What do you think an NFT is?
I think it's
Besides a
magic.
non-fungible token.
I think it's magic. I think it's a picture of some sort, and there's some sort of information attached to it, and and then the rest. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, and you know what? That's pretty much it. It's a picture.
Oh.
With some information attached to it. But it's a picture that'll last forever in theory. That'll always be out on the internet, because right now, especially the videos that we're doing, are owned by YouTube and hosted by YouTube. And so if YouTube ever decided to strike your content, well, man, I guess they could in the other NFT world, but if YouTube ever decided to stop listing your stuff, they could. Or if they just closed up shop and everybody's videos and whatnots would be gone. Same with Instagram. I mean, if you have them still stored on your phone. And so NFTs, in a way, are something that can help those persist. There's lots of other uses. But I guess, do you remember what we covered last week with blockchain?
Yes.
Would you care to explain it? What is blockchain?
Sure. It's a block of transactions, and multiple blocks of transactions create a chain. How am I doing?
That's pretty much it. Yes. So to state a little differently what a block is information, which is typically transactions, and they have a number, so then they get numbered, block number 1, block number 2, block number 3. And the first one is called the Genesis block, and that one is the one that kind of initiates the whole chain. Obviously, you got to start somewhere. And that one's hash code is just some sort of text or something to start it out. But then every other block after that has a hash code of the previous block's information. And that's where you get, if somebody changes any of the blocks, you have to change them all, because they all link together and they all know, uh-oh, I just saw my power kind of waver. Yeah. Oh man, I think we might be
a short video.
Yeah, it might be a short video. So let's get through the blockchain explanation, because that was a really insightful thing. No, I'm just joking.
It was.
But
good stuff.
each hash code is of the previous block. So then you got to change the previous block, which then would be the previous block, then the previous block to get everything to line back up. And then at any point in time, you should be able to recreate that hash for the previous block because the information in theory never changes. And of course, you just link them together, each block. And so that is blockchain. And this is where we're going to try to tie together. I only had this for the title, I think, because it looked good on the screen.
It does look good.
Except for now I highlighted and it's all weird. Now we're advertising for Facebook and Twitter. And I don't even think we posted on Facebook that we were going to do a video today. You know, and have we tweeted anything ever? So, oh yeah, we did at the beginning.
Yeah. We were testing it out.
Where did I see? I had a really good tab open a second ago, but I must have scrolled them all back to the top. Or is it this one? No. Sorry, everyone. I'm clicking through tabs to try to find. Oh. Nope, that wasn't it. It was like that. Yeah. This helps when you don't put your tabs in order. Oh, it was really nice. Huh? We'll find it. It's going to be one of these tabs we come across somewhere. Oh, okay. Yeah, this one, I guess, I just scrolled too fast. So important terms to know would be the metaverse we'll be covering, NFTs, and Web 3.0. We just re-talked about blockchain, and then we'll tie this all back, hopefully in the hour, back to cryptocurrency. I don't think, what was the title of our video today? Was it creating an NFT? I don't think we'll get far enough along for that.
I can tell you exactly what it is. What is
cool.
a NFT?
That's
and then
exactly.
It says let's make one, but
yeah.
We can just talk about making one and try it.
Yeah, we'll match the part of the title.
Yeah.
So, NFTs. They are, by definition, a non-fungible token and an intangible digital asset in the form of images, video, or gaming items. And that last thing will be very important. Well, all of it's super important because I kind of was thinking about this earlier that, right, you know, we had the phase of, we still have it, where we need programmers, right? A lot of computer science people, a lot of people that can write software, things like that. I think the next wave of big growth in a job market is going to be like digital artists, people that can produce all the art to supply all the NFTs for every company that's going to be needing to get into this. Because really, and we'll cover this back here in the metaverse, but when people enter the metaverse, they're already talking about having your virtual meetings at work in the metaverse. And that will change a lot because you'll have your avatar persona and they'll probably make you have tracking at some point, and you'll be able to, you know, it'll be just like what we're doing. And so then people want different outfits and stuff, and somebody's got to make that. And I'm not even talking about like, you know, just special fun outfits. I'm talking about work professional ones. And so people will have to make those images and have to do all that work. And I don't think we have enough digital graphic artists to do it. I mean, we have a lot that are in gaming and currently in marketing and stuff like that. But I think that'll be a big need going forward. So if you happen to be in that market, I think that you're going to have a lot of growth opportunities, and especially if you get ahead of it, it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out, because that's the other major part. You know, half of this is programming, half of it's tech, you know, that half's tech, but the other half's the digital images and video and all that you have to tie to it, because a lot of it's 3D modeling. So you would need to be able to use Blender efficiently and Maya, which we've seen. Darcy and I tried to look into that. It's pretty it's a pretty awesome program. It's
I like
intense.
that you said it correctly too. We tried looking into it.
Yeah, yeah. And you've seen our
I'm like,
awesome
okay.
artwork. It's great. But the 3D world, making everything 3D, really is not something you can just pick up and do in a few minutes. I have a friend,
No.
Richard, and he went into that world, and he does 3D models and fabs for gaming and things like that. So I feel that, you know, that type of skill set will definitely be useful. And that's plays right into NFTs. So, and then Web 3.0, that's an easy one. Let's knock that out real quick. So Web 3.0, we're currently in Web 2.0. It's the evolution of social media, of user created content. So Web 1.0, think of it as institutional content. You would have your companies only, you know, very specific information that was being used and displayed and available on the internet. And then Web 2.0 was, you know, the evolution of Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, all social media, YouTube, where regular people without any programming skills could create content and get it up onto the internet. A lot more templates. Like, we didn't do anything for actually writing code for the website, but we just used templates. So then that wouldn't have been really available in Web 1.0. So Web 3.0 is a decentralized version of Web 2.0. So allowing people to still get their information, their content, whatever they want to put out into the internet, still making it available, but removing all the reliance on the big players of tech that have been there traditionally before. And this is achieved through blockchain. And if you remember from our last video, hold on a second. From our last video, we talked about how the blockchain information is hosted, and it's hosted through nodes. So you would have, you know, everybody on your street has their computer connected to the internet and up and running. I mean, this isn't necessary to keep this going because there's people that want to do it, but everybody on the street has their computer up and connected to the internet. They have a copy of the whole blockchain. So then whenever a block is entered onto the chain, then half of them, or whatever percentage threshold, would approve the block and add it to the chain, and then transmit the information to the remaining nodes. And so then if one node goes down, the other nodes still have all the information. It doesn't matter. Currently, if Facebook, Twitter, Google, any of them go down, your information's gone. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. So Web 3.0 is removing that reliance on them and trying to decentralize it. You have to pay attention, because even though the word decentralization may be used, it's just could still be centralization in a different way. And we'll probably come across that throughout different times on our channel. So Web 3.0 is the decentralized version of the current internet. Very simple.
It's super simple.
So, keep saying so. Gotta stop that. But it works. NFTs are going to be virtual assets to help. Now we'll go up to the metaverse. The metaverse. Just trying to think of it. What would be a good example? I mean, we've seen it. The Matrix is a pretty good example of a metaverse, a really advanced one. But anything that you would go into to experience different activities. So if you had a portal, a web portal right now where you go, like, a lot of people play games on Steam. And so you can go into Steam and you can play a whole lot of different games. You have a lot of different experiences. For instance, we use Steam not for playing games, but for animes. And so that's a totally different experience from playing games. A lot of gamers use the overlay for animes for their streams, but it doesn't matter. There's just different experiences within that portal. So that's really the metaverse, but where the metaverse, I think, evolves from just regular web portals is the fact that you could take what you've earned in your experiences that you do. So like if you're playing a game, or if for some reason animes gave rewards for number of hours streamed using its overlay, then you would be able to take your rewards and move them from platform to platform. So from experience to experience, from metaverse to metaverse in theory. Some coins wouldn't probably be transferable because it's really cryptocurrency that we'll back into. But you would be able to take your NFTs over to another area. You'd own them. You would be able to sell those digital assets. So especially in gaming, when you've played a game for hours and hours and hours and earned all these various things. So if you're playing a role-playing game, you earn various clothing and armor and weapons. And you could sell those. Right now, the mechanisms to sell them are pretty not user-friendly. You got to sell your whole account, or you got to have a little level of trust where you would throw something down or trade it. I mean, there are mechanisms to do it, but there's no real world money value out of it. Well, now that you would have these digital assets in your wallet, your digital wallet, you could sell them because you actually own them. So that's where NFTs come in, because they are a representation of that digital asset.
Oh.
So, and they have a certificate. So a way that an NFT would work in the real world would be a car title. That's a very simple example. So you can make an NFT of your car title. In theory, or well, not in theory, you could actually go right now and take a picture of your car title front and back and create an NFT for it, put it on a blockchain, and then when you sell your car, you could transfer that NFT as the title. So would you need any kind of registration? You wouldn't need to go through any process of title transfers, because it would already be transferred automatically through the exchange of the digital asset on the blockchain. You would see that I sold my vehicle to Darcy, and that would be recorded on the blockchain. And now she would have this NFT certificate in her wallet, which would prove that she owned it, and everybody would know it because it was recorded on the blockchain. So that's a pretty straightforward real world example. Anything else that you would have to prove ownership for, there you go. That's what you could use NFTs for. And then you could tie images and other elements of information to them. There's different types of NFTs, and we may get into that maybe in the next episode. I don't know if we'll have time today because there's a lot to cover. But I hope that's helping. If anybody has any questions, definitely reach out and chat instead of just harassing us about not having intro music.
Yeah.
Right?
We only want good comments.
Good comments. And then we tried to accommodate, and we left the music on and ruined the first half of our show. So
yeah, thanks, Craig.
Yeah, thanks, Craig.
Jeez, you should have just let us start 5 minutes late like usual, and everything would have been fine.
Yep. So Web 3.0, decentralized version of the current web. What does decentralized mean? It means information is hosted on many computers instead of one, even though it's still many in the background, right? Mm-hmm. When you talk about data centers and servers and stuff like that. But NFTs are a digital asset with a certificate that shows ownership. And the metaverse. Fake virtual world where I hate using virtual reality. I mean, it is correct, but instantly when I think of virtual reality, I think you got to put on a mask and you got to do that. You wouldn't have to do that to be in the metaverse. Now, to take advantage of a lot of the cool things? Possibly. You might have to have some sort of AR goggles or VR headset or something along those lines. I would imagine that most experiences will be accommodated through a web browser and or a phone for quite a long time. So, because we still got a long way on the VR front. Do you have any questions?
Nope, not yet. Soaking it all in.
Okay, so then let's go and dive into yeah, I just like the title of that one. So NFT, again, non-fungible, which means that it's unique and can't be replaced with something else. Just like a proof of ownership and notarized proof of ownership. I mean, any way that you could prove that you actually have something, and where does what its ownership state is. For example, a Bitcoin is fungible, means you can trade one for another and you'll have exactly the same thing. But a one-of-a-kind trading card, however, is non-fungible. So a baseball card that has a crease across it is definitely not the same as a mint condition one. But if you have two mint condition ones, I guess they'd be the same, right? That'd be interesting. So
Yeah.
that's not unique, but I was just thinking of sports card trading because they really are unique once somebody handles them.
Yeah, well, there's that one I've seen. I don't know. I don't remember who it is, but some guy had like cut the yucky pieces off the top of the baseball card, and it ended up selling for a bunch of money because everyone thought it was mint. Well, it turns out he had clearly modified it, and it's I want to say it's worth more now than
Because it's
it was
famous.
before. Because of all this stuff, and I've seen some videos. It's been a long time, so I kind of feel stupid even bringing it up since I clearly don't have details. But
I don't even remember. I never remember hearing about that, and that's actually awesome. And that is a perfect story for this, because if you try to change anything on the blockchain, you can't get away with it.
yeah.
That's it. Once it's approved, once whatever makes it to the blockchain and is approved as a block to be added, and it has to be validated by other nodes to say you're not trying to add something corrupted, something wrong, making up being a bad actor. So that solves that problem. That's awesome. That was a really good story. I hadn't heard it. I hadn't ever heard it before either. And I don't collect baseball cards. I have them, and I have Magic cards. That's more of the collection. I think those are more valuable than my baseball cards, and it's like awesome. Crazy. Yep. So, that was good. So, at a very high level, this is true. Most NFTs are part of the Ethereum blockchain, and that's how you get on the blockchain. So that's where they enter in, because they really are just kind of like a little mini cryptocurrency. And it's so confusing when people say that, so I'll try not to say that. But that's how it gets added to that. And
how an NFT gets added to a blockchain?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't very good on that. So we're how that gets added to that. Yep. That wasn't very good.
Oh.
Yeah, very insightful, Jeff. Because I was trying to read and talk, and it's sometimes hard.
It makes perfect sense. I was just making sure I was following along.
So different blockchains have their own versions of NFTs. We will be using probably Polygon Maddox. It's way cheaper. You have to pay attention when dealing with NFTs. There are fees, and they call them gas fees. If you go to say you want to purchase an NFT that a lot of people want, and I believe I touched on this in the last video, that if you don't get on the block and get committed, as soon as they get committed, they own whoever was in the front of the line. You still have to, your gas fees are gone. And what will happen is, because you're still trying to get on a block saying that you're going to own this NFT, and it'll already be owned, and so then it won't be available anymore. And when it comes to validate your spot in the block, it's going to kick you your information because it's not something that's allowed according to the rules of the smart contract and blockchain and stuff we haven't even talked about. But just that, the easy way to think, if you're in a line and you're buying concert tickets and they sell out and you happen to be the guy or the person right behind the person that gets the last ticket, then you won't get it. And you'll have to pay fees. And in the case of standing in line for concert, your fee was wasting time. But here it'll cost real money. And then if you don't realize that and you hit the button again, you'll incur the fees again and again and again. So just be very aware before you jump into the NFTs. But buy ours, definitely buy ours. No, I'm just joking. We don't have any NFTs for sale yet. Not yet, but we will be giving away some for free, hopefully, because that's it down here. How to create and sell NFTs for free. I guess it wouldn't really be selling, but we want to do that. We want to release a limited edition set of NFTs for our early subscribers, and then we'll do a full walkthrough video of how to set that up, how to practice too. We want to practice because a lot of this is scary. Like when I first ventured into it, it was dealing with real money and learning about the fees. I was lucky and I didn't get caught in any fees because I haven't bought any NFTs. But you do have to pay attention to what you're doing because you can't reverse it. There's nobody to go back to and say, hey, I sent stuff to the wrong wallet, which is just an ID. It doesn't have a name. You can't go to your bank and get them to reverse your ACH transaction. So definitely make sure you pay attention when you're dealing with any cryptocurrency, where you're at, what you're doing. It's very important, especially with any kind of new and upcoming thing. There's going to be a lot of bad people trying to take advantage of people that don't know and that are just trying to get in and all the fun. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all shapes up. So we got about 1 more minute and then we'll take a 5-minute break. We may go a little longer on our stream. Do we have time today, Darcy, or not today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So it just depends where we're at the end. And we will cover next week. We'll just pick up where we left off and continue with NFTs. It'll give you something to talk about during the holidays with your family.
Yep. Yeah.
Everybody wants to hear about cryptocurrency and NFTs.
Yeah, actually, my sister we were talking about this and she was like, yeah, I'm super confused. And I was like, well, we have some videos about it.
Not very good ones, but we have some.
Yeah, I'm like, they're hilarious.
If you want to come away even more confused, watch our videos. All right, let's see if we can, what do we want to leave us on? So let's see if we can get this right. All right. So I'm going to mute my mic, but the reason I didn't want to mute my mic last time is that it seemed like it messed up the settings a little bit when we came back. Remember, we talked about that. Yep. All right, we're going to start with the music. And so the music's going. We need different music. Hold on. Sorry, guys. We're going to, that's our intro music. We need some dance party music. Oh, whoa. Good dance party video.
We're talking about
there we go.
Our art.
Was it showing for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So, there we go. That's our intermission music, I believe. Oh, maybe I can get my dad to run the soundboard. He does that at his church. It's funny. So, because he's pretty techie, but I just wouldn't have pictured him doing that. Just like being involved in the video production of what they have going on there. It's just really interesting. And I applaud him, so he could come over and do ours. I thought Phil was gonna do it, but I haven't ever heard him talk about it either. So we got the sound going. We need to hide our screen. There we go. Black screen. And I'll mute me and you, and we'll be back. Oh, timer. Yeah, we'll be back at 8:35.
Okay.
So no timer. Sorry, guys.
Or just
Yeah, just silence. I muted you right before you even said that. So yeah, just silence. All right.
Perfect.
Broken neck. All right. Oh, there's Darcy. I see her person moving around.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
Yep. We weren't going anywhere. We were just, I was trying to remove the black screen and the silence to let people know, you know, oh, we lost somebody. Dang it. We had 2 concurrent viewers and now we're down to 1. Guess intermission. It's hard. Intermission, you know, like I'm at a play or anything that has or any kind of show that would have an intermission. And at intermission, I'm like, man, I should just leave before I see what happens at the end, you know, where all the good stuff comes in, where they bring it all together.
Yeah.
I feel bad for that one person.
Yeah, me too.
All right,
But,
picking up where we left off.
yes, let's.
NFTs. So we covered. This is a big word. Non-fungible just means it can't be replaced with something else. Very much like a title or certificate of ownership. I like to use that as an example because you own it. mean, you don't have to show a receipt. Everybody knows you owned it. I guess you can put receipts on the blockchain, and then it'd be the same thing. But then just think if people had to do OCR to receipts, so you have these, it just a whole lot of work for us, right, Darcy? So I was just thinking, man, I don't want to have to read all these various receipts. Which, let's put it as text, nice plain text. Okay, NFTs can be anything digital. Drawings, music, your brain downloaded it and turned into, oh, you know what we're gonna build? We're gonna build Jarvis in Python. Yeah. Yeah, totally sidetracked, but that's coming up. I was so excited. I found some examples for this, so that'll be cool. But back to, sorry, squirrel.
Like, this is reminded, oh, our music's still on.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay! Grandma to the rescue!
She saved us.
Yes. So, unlike Craig,
I know, he's
who just
like,
ruins the
now,
show.
and then leaves.
Yep. Yeah, he was the one person we were talking about. But okay, so I want to recover that. NFTs can be anything: drawings, music, brain downloaded and turned into AI, and then we talked about how we're going to build Jarvis in Python, but that's a different topic. But a lot of excitement around using tech to sell digital art. I don't know. I see the use case a lot more around real world assets. And then I see the next step around gaming. It's going to be huge for the gaming industry. Huge. Because all the time that everybody spends playing games will finally be worth it in some way. It will only be worth it. The reason I say in some way, it's only, you got to remember when you're playing any of these experiences in the metaverse. So when you do anything, you only earn the currency in whatever they're offering. And if it is not popular, like right now I have Dogecoin up and breaking my heart, but Dogecoin's currently not as popular as it was. It's Shiba Inu. Seems to be one of the popular ones still. And when it's not popular, then it's not worth anything. So then your time's still wasted. Just not wasted. It's just, it's not, there's not a value that can be sold, I guess, money tied to it. Because if you're entertained, it's not wasted at all. But that would be the interesting thing, how they deal with that. Because if you think of game franchises, let's take something that's really popular like Call of Duty. And that one, if they paid you in a currency playing that game and you had your digital assets, and then they don't let you transfer it to the next game, there wouldn't be value to somebody wanting to buy something that was from the first one. If they always keep that up and let you transfer your stuff around, then that's cool. But if there isn't an experience to use your digital asset on, then there would really be no value for somebody else to want it. So people do collect things though, and everybody's got their own collections, and so maybe they just want certain skins or outfits from. I'm using just something generic. There's way more cool stuff, but I'm trying to have a wide audience that would know. But
for me, I understand.
Yeah, well, because if I was like, if you could get these certain grenades, or like if you're playing the game, if there was like, you know, specific things, but also trying to be a little more just audience friendly. So your outfits and knickknacks and whatever that you can put in your house. It's funny how much people like decorating virtual houses. I do. And I spend a lot of time into getting my fake little world house set the way that I want it.
That sounds, and I never really thought about it before. Rick would love that.
Yeah.
He's a good decorator.
There's this game that my friend Craig and we play, and Andy and Link, and it's called Valheim, and It's kind of like a sandbox game. Minecraft's a very, very similar type game. But you know, you can kind of just putt around, you collect things. And so if you have worlds like that are set up, that already exist, people are going to want to own their stuff and be able to trade it around and move it with them, really. And so that's very good uses for NFTs. Art, the digital art is also, because if you're thinking about that, if you have your house and somebody sells, somebody creates their own version of a Monet or a Van Gogh painting, they can sell that limited edition or as a only one. So they could do collections. They could have like 10, but you could take that and hang that up in your virtual house. And so then you could look at it and maybe it does something cool. It's got its own twist on it. That's the way the digital art would work. All right. So enough on that. Yeah, they're talking about art collecting. It's just about collecting. Don't think of it that way. It's the collection side of it, and people collect all kinds of crazy stuff. And so if you can get something that other people can't get, for some reason, there's value to that. Okay, that's enough on this guy. All right, where are we at? We're here. Okay, let's take it to, yeah, this is a marketer's guide to NFTs. So now how our company is going to use this and how our brands that are trying to get their name out there and sell their products. And so there's going to be a huge marketing push for growing the metaverse, for creating NFTs and digital assets. And they're saying it's going to look like a significant shift that feels like the social media revolution in 2007. And that's going to be, I believe it's going to be 100% true. And so how are brands entering the metaverse? Definitely AR, which is augmented reality. So that's kind of like what we're doing with the screen overlay. You put digital images in the real world. So you would have to put on a pair of glasses or hold up your phone because you'd have to have something that would translate what's trying to be put out there to your eyes. And once you have that screen in front of you, you could look around what would look like a normal room, just like your normal room, and they could have your digital assets. So if you bought that painting or that drawing that is totally awesome from Pretending to Program, it could be hanging on your wall and you wouldn't see it in real life. But if you had your AR glasses on, you'd put them on and it would know that that asset is hanging there and that you owned it, and it would be shown. And so that's what...
That would be amazing. That's exactly how my art should be displayed.
Secretly?
When you look at it, you can't see it.
When you look at it, you can't see it. Exactly. Yeah. No, not exactly.
No, but it is kind of reminding me of They Live, this portion where, you know, you had to put on the glasses to see the subliminal messaging.
Yep.
Continue.
And definitely don't think of metaverse as Facebook. That's meta. That's whatever. I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about that you're missing out. He's going to push a lot of really cool stuff, which is going to help the overall metaverse, but don't worry about it right now. But he did just release something. If you have Oculus, you're allowed to join into a public release of their metaverse. So you will have these avatars. So they're doing concerts in the metaverse. Decentraland, which is a metaverse, just hosted an exclusive concert. So if you have an NFT, which is a certificate, and it could be tickets. So Ticketmaster could sell concert tickets as NFTs. Those would give you some sort of digital asset, and they would also provide proof of ownership into a club. That's what I've been seeing. So you could, if you own this NFT, you get to take part in special online concerts and festivals and sporting events. And they just had one in Decentraland. Decentraland's cryptocurrency is Mana, for anybody interested. And it is a really interesting free world that you can go right now and get into.
It sounds so amazing, especially like, I mean, you know, there's a lot going on. People not wanting, shouldn't be around each other, but just also for the people like myself, and I think you also, that don't like to be around a lot of people, but still want to get to enjoy like a show. Like going to a concert is so overwhelming, and you're just around all these people. You're like, okay, how can I get there and leave and not be touched by 1 million people? Um, so that sounds pretty cool. You can go and not, you get to be social and not have to interact.
That's exactly it. You could go to the same concert experience as people that actually go in real life. So then it just gives you more options, more choices. And then think about ticket sales and what we currently have where people make fake tickets and sell them. And it's really, you're always a little, or you go to StubHub, and I hate to knock on them because I've used them plenty of times. They provide a service. If you don't want to use it, don't buy their tickets, but their fees are crazy. And so having that ticket and that NFT, you could sell that and without any worry that you're buying something that is not real. And then what I've seen people talk about would be you could buy packs of tickets so you could get an experience for, 5 different shows. Maybe you're not going to go to the one in other cities, but maybe you are thinking about, you want to do it, you're a super fan and you want to join them all digitally. And then obviously you're going to go to the one in your city. Well, if you change your mind later on after you've watched 3 of the shows, you're like, guess I'm not that big of a super fan after all. And you want to get rid of it, you could still sell your NFT and sell those 2 remaining things. And then the next person would get to experience all the VIP special things that they're offering with that NFT and get to go experience the last 2 shows. And there's just so much that they could do with that, because if they released if you're a super fan and some artist releases a limited edition NFT package, and I'm just using it generically, but it would offer 5 shows, kind of like what I was talking about, some special art, you get access to a special chat thing where you can actually interact with them through chat, and it's only limited to say 100 people. That would be an experience that a lot of fans would like. And if you get tired of it, you can sell it. And it's transferable. That's where I really think that's going to take off for music artists. They will be able to connect with their fans more. They'll be able to, all of a sudden, because you own that limited edition thing, maybe they'll be like, hey, I'm in the mood, I'm going to do a pop-up concert. Because what they're going to want to do, it's all about marketing. They're going to want to make it more exclusive. So they will do these things to drive up the price. And then they'll have different tiers. So you have your super exclusive one for 100 people, then you have one for 1,000 people, and then 10,000, and then everybody else. Or maybe 10,000 is everybody else. So if you drive up this exclusivity of the top tier and maybe a little bit into the second tier, not everybody can afford them, but it's going to bring people to that brand. It's going to bring people that want to interact. And maybe a fan that's in the third tier decides, hey, I really like Paris Hilton's DJing music, and I want to step up to the second tier. So then somebody that's in the second tier is like, I'm a little bored, but there's only 1,000, remember? So then they might have a lot of people from somewhere else wanting to buy their thing. So that's how it would give incentive to artists to interact with their fans. So that's what that was. So we go back here. So that's how this marketing side. Avatars, when you're at these concerts, you're going to need fashion. So we were talking about how it would work in work. Oh my. Like if it was in just, I know the way I said it, because I cut my, I was going to, I had a longer sentence, but, just think about fashion and how much people like to customize everything. And outside of work, I would imagine work clothes and work stuff's going to be pretty standard. Like if you're doing virtual meetings and things with avatars. But if you're going to a concert and you're going to all these other things, it's going to be crazy. And brands like Nike, Gucci, Dior, is that how? I don't know. But they're all going to want to have their handbags, shoes. I'm just reading it and it all makes complete sense. They're going to want to have complete wardrobes. And they're going to sell these NFTs as limited edition, some of them. And it's just going to be like the real world. So that's why it's important to be prepared, because if you want to play with, I mean, if you want to experience what a lot of people will probably be experiencing, because it's like everybody has a choice. Do you want to join in the technology or not? And you're going to end up getting to the point where you're going to have to buy NFTs. You're going to have to understand all this. And it's going to get easier, obviously, as more sites come up and more platforms to help people buy them. And that's what we'll go to here in a second. Where can you get them? But it's going to be something that you're probably going to need to know about, whether you like it or not. Because everybody's going to be like, oh, do you get your... It's kind of like the Facebook, like, what's your Facebook? You know, before people stopped using Facebook, everybody was joining. You on Facebook? You on Facebook? Before that, it was on MySpace. And so everybody joins whether they like it or not, because we're social, things and beings. And so we kind of like to interact. And this is going to be the next level of interaction. If you haven't seen where over the last couple of years, it has basically been shown that we're going to be we're not going to be in as big of groups as much. And we probably still will be, but there will be a larger segment of the population that doesn't want to be than there was before. And so now, to provide experiences for them and in the real world, this is what this is going to be. And it's going to be the Web 3.0. It's going to be the metaverse, because that's going to be really the digital world coming into the real world, or real world going into the digital world, whichever way. There's going to be a big branding or blurring. I see brands. Let's see. Virtual pop-ups allow engagement at a distance. That's what we talked about. So, and for artists, they can access more people, more of their fans. And it makes sense as the world population gets bigger. How can you go to a stadium that only fits so many people? And then there's only so many stadiums. You have to come up with a way, as populations grow, that more people can experience similar experiences. It's not going to be the same, but it may be at some point. Let's see. Public relations. Avatars, yeah, you're not allowed to wear that to work. I'm just waiting for that. Challenges. Interpolability. I've always had say it. Interoperability. I've always had trouble with that word when I see it in programming. So basically being able to transfer everything around. That's it. There's going to have to be a base standard layer. And that's why Ethereum works, because if your NFT is built off of Ethereum, that's one of the largest used blockchains out there. And so just their gas fees are $1 bazillion. How do we get started? Well, this is very good transition to what we're going to cover next week. How do we get started with all this? Well, MetaMask is what we're going to use, but there are many other digital wallets that you can use. Make sure you are very careful if you're putting real money into it, or you're buying Ethereum or another crypto that's real with real money. I do want to stress that. Don't think you can just sign up and then there's passwords. If you lose your password to this, and they're not just your everyday passwords. They're passphrases, I think 16 words or something like that. And so if you lose that, you cannot get back into your wallet. Because if you could reset it, then people would take your stuff. So NFTs, it says women in the metaverse. Women are doing cool things. Yeah, I do see a lot of women artists, so that will help a lot. Let's see, authors, events, masterminds, cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah, see all these different little outfits, different experiences of the world. So what we're looking at for our listeners is just kind of pictures of a metaverse. That one doesn't look like fun. That's silly. So HTC Vive for all our VR players just listed their own NFT store. And so this is exactly where you could use the VR, AR, XRs, the cross ones, I believe, to view all those digital assets. And that's really cool for me. OpenSea. OpenSea is a site that I recommend you go to and browse. If you want to see what people are doing, this is a really cool NFT that's right there on the top.
It is cool.
If you want to see what people are doing for the art side of it and what they're selling, go to OpenSea. Be very careful if you're going to buy something, because some of the stuff, what Darcy, we were looking at it, its prices were crazy, like $4,000 or more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did find some that were just a couple bucks, right?
Yep.
But
I think. Go ahead.
And well, even those, it was a pretty good selection, right? They were still pretty cool. They were really cool. And just maybe they had made more of them or something.
I don't even know how to search. Oh yeah, here we go. So, art, music, domain names. Whoa. Trending collection in domain names. What does this mean? Let's go here. Space. So we're clicking a few ways. We don't have an account. We're not logged in, so don't be scared unless you create an account and link your bank account to it. Then be careful. But you can come to the site and look around. And so if you hover over in the center where it says current price, it says 0.18 and it says ETH. And then over here, so the 0.18 looks like, oh, that's small, but it's really $722. And this is a super cool Lotus on a loop. And oh, that one's even cooler. Wow, that's kind of cool. You can get lost here forever. And so it's on sale. A lot of people are looking at it. And this would be a digital asset that somebody would buy. And it's a purple, spinning, shiny Lotus. Really super cool. And you would buy it and you'd be able to use that digital asset in something that you want. So it gives it, let's see, it's got properties, it's animation, details. Let's see what it says down here. Nothing. You can edit it a little bit, I'd imagine, to make it fit. Yep. So somebody just basically built their 3D model and put it up for sale. Let's go. Man, these are, wow, that one is, yeah, okay.
That is outrageous. Holy smokes.
Yeah,
it is so really cool, but wow.
This is, I don't know, this is impressive. I don't know if I've seen, even in video games, that level of detail is great. So it's a person and a building disintegrating, and the reflections and the movement, just the whole thing is beautiful. They are selling this, what are we gonna call it? This rig, this model, for $76,000, 19 ETH. I would say that's worth every penny if you need something to this level. For a regular person, maybe not, but if you wanted an avatar, if you wanted this as your avatar, it cost you $76,000, I'd imagine. You would be very impressive walking around, but sorry. I'm not, I just, 2 seconds ago, I just realized what the person was. I was still fascinated by the building in the background and all the effects going on. And then I just looked at her.
Cool.
It was just funny. I just looked at her outfit about 2 seconds ago. Very scantily clad. Like, it didn't even occur to me. I was just like very impressed. We'll go over to him. He was cool. He was just as cool. This guy, very impressive. But that building disintegrating in the background was amazing. And so this one is 300,000. Wow, oh wow.
Well, yeah, look at him. He's flying.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. His got even cooler. And
it's really cool what people do, and what a great place to like come and like check it out.
Yep.
We're just trying to find out about NFTs, and we get to look at all this cool art.
Yeah, no, and so totally distracted. Oh yeah, some Rick and Morty collections. Yay! So, next week we are going to dive more into NFTs. You can NFT GIFs. You could NFT your memes. That's pretty cool. And so this is somebody's video that they're selling. We'll probably. What did it do? I didn't see. I wasn't watching.
He shot the kid in the blue shorts.
Man, wow, our channel is just horrible. Jeez,
we're an adult. We
are adults.
Not a kid channel. So.
It's just crazy because I was like, I'm trying to find family friendly stuff. Half naked girl, some guy getting exploded by a Terminator. Let's go over here.
Well,
Back to the Future.
From a bear.
Yeah, what do you expect from a bear? But so back over here, we got something nice and friendly with Back to the Future. Next week, we will continue. Where do we make it to? How to create? Oh, we were right there. How to create NFTs and why you may not want to, but we will.
Yeah. So. You can't talk us out of it.
No. And hopefully maybe we'll even have our collection ready to release. And so by the end of the video, if you create your MetaMask along with us or at any time before they run out, we will have our NFTs available for you. I would hope that I think we're going to have them by the end of the year. None for sale, obviously. They're going to be freezies if we can. But if we have to, it'll be as low as possible, like just whatever the minimum of the sites. And we'll agree to whatever for this first release. So, because I think you can it's like a barter system. You can bid and things like that. So just bid 0. we want it, but we don't think it's worth anything. So.
we're testing it out. Yeah, I better get to drawing.
Yep. You got anything else, Darcy?
No. Thanks for teaching me some more stuff.
You are welcome. Thanks for asking good questions. And keeping me out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, bears get into trouble often.
Yep.
Honey is our downfall. You know.
I was like, honey who?
Was that NFT girl's name? Honey.
Yeah.
But no, climbing trees, getting stung by bees.
What, you're a poet now?
Why did that rhyme or something? Sorry. I was just thinking of I needed to go create an NFT. My brain's already started going to that. All right. We'll talk to everybody next week in the Cryptoverse. Oh, I can't use that one. That's somebody else's tagline. Oh. Sorry, Ben.
Sorry.
That's Benjamin Cohen's very awesome crypto analyst. Yeah. So next week in Pretending to Program, we will pretend how to do an NFT for free. How to get started. Testnet, MetaMask, probably Polygon if you want to get ahead of everything. I don't know where we're listed at because everybody wants to charge. So. All right.
We'll see.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Bye.